GM, guys, drop a GM. Drop a GM. Amazing week. Solana back above $240, so we have to celebrate a bit. BNB almost $1,000. So yeah, pretty decent markets. Bunch of crypto lagging behind, which is cool. But yeah, let's wait a few minutes to have like everybody joining, and then we will start. So of course we'll look at majors, we'll look at some alpha we had in the trenches, upcoming alphas, and so on and so on and so on. So of course, like everything I'm saying is not a financial advice, trying to guide you. But then you have to really follow your portfolio in terms of percentage, knowing where are your allocation, where is your money, in what exposure, you know. For example, we had like an alpha in trenches yesterday about agents, AI and agents. So if you're already overexposed to AI and agents, perhaps it's better not to degen on that, you know. So free to drop a GM, and I think we will start now. So yeah, Solana pushing. I think this was one of the alpha of like the trenches. Is like Solana season is starting since like mid July, I would say. A bunch of bullish news coming up. So don't sell. The alpha is like don't sell. We're waiting for the banana zone. So don't sell if. So don't sell Solana, right? That's something very important, guys. Too many of you like are starting to take profits, and that's not good. Definitely, you need to let it breathe. So don't sell Solana. I'm not selling my Solana, and I don't recommend people to sell Solana. Honestly, some of you in trenches sniped the bottom on Sol if, really super strong bottom with a super strong bounce. And I think that was also one of the things we shared quite a lot in trenches, is like at some point you want to take profit your if. So imagine the guys who took profit on their if here, rotated to Solana. Of course, like if pumped back, but you make some profit. So Solana, not selling, waiting to have more news, to have the price going higher and everything. Bitcoin, neutral zone, I would say. And I think Bitcoin will consolidate for quite some time here. I feel it's a bit like here. So perhaps we'll have a move down, but it's a bit like here. Solana is slow. If Bitcoin is slow, which is good, right? Because when Bitcoin is slow like that and you have like Solana repricing going higher, Ethereum going higher, that's very healthy for the market. Ethereum, I had some orders again to sell above like 4,500, so or 4,600 towards here. So on that zone, I still have some orders. So I'm unloading slowly my ETH. I'm not sure it's a good trade, you know. I said it a few times already, because I think the Wall Street money will get in hard into Ethereum, and Ethereum will overperform, will pump, but will not overperform. That's why I was like rotating my ETH towards Solana and USDC in the past few weeks, because I think many other coins will overperform Ethereum, and I don't want to be too exposed to Ethereum. So yeah, that's an alpha. So okay, perhaps let's go on some tweets, and then we go back into looking at a bunch of altcoins. So we had Hub.xyz on Q42, another sale, another like banger. I took profit a bit of my BNB at $150, 30% of my bag part, and I say where do we rotate? And I rotated mainly USDC. So the goal of that move is to get back some cash to buy back other like coins. Also, like I'm an angel investor into Gigaverse, but you probably don't care. DeFi Dev Corp, which is a Solana, and you're gonna see it so many times now. DAT, Digital Asset Treasury, is the most important word of the cycle. DAT, ETF and DAT. You want to, like I would say the three most important things, like ETF, DAT, generating revenue. These are the only three crypto you want to buy. Either they have like an ETF, like BTC, ETH, and probably soon Sol. All the guys who are doing smart DAT, these are like most of the time relevant coins, and the coins who either have like a lot of revenue or a lot of growth. These are like the 4 coins you want to be focused on. All the other coins, be cautious. Be cautious, really. So feel free also, if you have some questions, to drop in the chat. I hope you're hearing me well. Haven't checked, but yeah. So that's the most important thing. Nobody talks about the DAT, right? But that's a game changer. Also, Bullish pushing. We're gonna check this out after. Pump was an alpha in trenches, super easy one. You know, sometimes there is super easy trade and you have to embrace that, you know. So for pump, we didn't participate in the sale, went down. When it's starting to went down here, I was like, okay, guys, start to become interesting. We waited the price to go here. At some point, we're starting to buying back below 0.2028. I think my entry price is really, really low. It's like 2027, 0027, or like even lower. Accumulated here. Perhaps it went back too fast high, so we didn't have enough time to accumulate like some other coin like FWAG, which I will go in detail soon. But big pump, took profit, 10% here, 10% here, I think 15% here. So I'm out almost 50% of my size. But really, guys, like I think you should check I think I have some content on my YouTube channel where we were here and I was like, okay, going to do that with this red line, this like stuff and this zone. So this zone means like this is like where the price should stop, or like this is where we want to take profit. So sometimes we are really predicting the market, which is cool, right? So pump was an easy one. And I wish I sized more. And I received some DMs. So big disclaimer here. I received some DM from the trenches group where like people were like, because we had like ATH, bunch of good, I thought I was like, okay, next one, I size more, you know, because they feel like it's easy for us. So this is where we have to stay humble. Sometimes we have like 10 alphas, 15 alphas, like straight, you get them, like it's fairly easy, you know, to beat the market. But sometimes it's way harder. So we had good market conditions, of course. So that's why you have to be humble and keep the same sizing. Like for example, let's say you put 1K on pump. The thing does 2x, like you have 2K. If we have another alpha where we feel it's the same confidence as pump, which is like was a high confidence, don't put 5K. You can't, you know. You have to put something that makes sense compared to your net worth. And of course, don't fall in the trap of going into the leverage. Really, no leverage. All the guys on Twitter telling you have to do leverage to make it, it's just because they are selling you referral fees and they want you to use leverage and they want you to get obliterated, lose all your money. So no leverage. No. All the wealthiest guys I know in crypto, they have built wealth with spot and sometimes they use leverage, but no leverage. If you are not a highly trained trader, no leverage. And even in trenches, you know, I'm super cautious when there is some leverage. I was like, guys, be careful because I don't want to sell. Another super cool article from Abstract Horizon. Go check it out. Q42 opening the doors to inclusive crypto venture capital. The goal of Q42 is to make community VC a standard. Like everybody should be able to invest in like a VC. And what does VC do? They invest in seed, pre-seed, so very early stage of a crypto company to capture most of the growth. And on Q42, we invest mainly on infrastructure project. We had Flint, we had Hub.xyz recently, and I'm mainly investing in infrastructure project. I invested into Gigaverse just because like such a cool project, super strong, a super strong community, which was a bit out of my thesis, but still, you know, such a good project. I was like, okay, I want to be in. I did few videos also. Hope you have been able to check them out. So feel free if you have any question to ask, right? And if you can confirm me, like I'm sharing my screen, yeah, that would be great. So I dropped a video. Feel free to have a look of the 5 projects I was super bullish on. So 2 of them were listed: CreatorBit and Aether, Hub, Play, and Everlink. Went super well. Why? Because like they pumped quite well. So as I mentioned, you know, sometimes we are a bit lucky, you know, and it doesn't mean that because we are lucky sometimes that then we have to be degen. So we bought like bid like early September at 80 million valuation. Honestly, bid at 80 million valuation, it's like a stealth, like it's such a big discount. Pumped to 0.18. I think part of the community have been able to sell some a bit. So perhaps some of you had like some limit orders being posted. I don't remember which one we shared, but feel free to ask, okay, Julian, I want to post limit orders on that coin. When you are in trenches, where do I post them? Like that, when you have those pumps and you are sleeping, you are able to sell, the price goes back down and you're able to buy back. So let's say you had 20% here. We are not like taking the top, you know, like they do on YouTube. It's a joke. Down then 25%. So you sold 25%, it's down 25%. You have been able to grow your bag by 5% of bid, you know, by not being too aggressive, which is good. We sold, we buy back. Now it bounced. So we let it run, you know, And I would say that if you have a creator bid bag, don't rush too much into selling. You know, I think it's a season where like you should put the take profit a bit more far. I don't know if that makes sense. Like basically, let's say you wanted to take profit at 200 million on creator bid. Perhaps if the market is super hot, it will pump higher. So that's why you don't want to sell too early, too fast. You know, so perhaps sell less. That's just my bet, right? Sell less and less closer. You know, let the price breathe. I think that's something very important. That's something like I told to the guy in the team. Let the price breathe a bit. And then we had ATH. I think it was like one that unfortunately pumped too fast, so we shared it, and like a few hours after it started to pump and like it squeezed. So we entered in HCH. So it's IF here. We entered like the first take profit zone, I think was 0.45 ish. It pumped to 0.06, and I think the second take profit zone is around here. And so how does it work? Sometimes on the take profit one, I'm like taking profit 10%, sometimes 50%. It really depends a bit the vibe, how exposed I am to the coin. So you have to make a bit that rule that is a bit personal. Also, sometimes I'm keeping like a moon bag, you know, for example, for pump fund. So it's a very high valuation, unlikely it will 10x, right? Impossible. But it can still like push like a bit more. So I would think I will keep 20% of my bag, you know. Perhaps I love the coin too much and, you know, I'm in love with the coin and I want to hodl, which is bad. Or perhaps it's just like, that's my way of doing it. But looks a bit topish, you know. So if you are in trenches and you follow the pump trade, I think you should be out at least 50% of your money. And if that's the case, let's say you entered here, you are up more than 100%. So you have secured your money. The rest is like pure profit, which is the best thing. It's definitely the best thing. So yeah, so that was a very good one. And then we have three other project, Play, Hub. So Hub was on Q42, Precede, Evelyn, and Play. They should TG soon. And based on the TG, we'll see like what valuation makes sense. Also another funny project, Bid Strategy, that launched or will launch soon on Creator Bid, and the ticker is Bids, and it's like a Michael Saylor playbook for Creator Bid. So basically the goal is for the protocol, the agent, right, to generate revenue and to buy back bid a bit constantly, kind of like what we see for Hyperliquid, you know, constant buyback. Another video, if you're in trenches or if you're not in trenches, you have to watch is this one. What is my target for Solana? And so of course, go watch the video, right? I don't want to spoil you, but don't take profit too fast on Solana. That's why I think we had in the French crypto club some take profit at $240 that got removed because we want to let it breathe a bit more. You know, people saying, yeah, I'm exiting slowly, blah blah, because they don't know nothing. You know, when you have like a conviction, you know it will go here. Like you have the high probability that it will go to this zone. You don't take profit before. You let it go to that zone. You know, you're not like being like scared and like being like, okay, I want to take profit. So that's the same for pump fund. Like we're not buying here and then being like, even here when we bought like it pump here, I said, okay guys, you can sell a bit to buy back lower. I think it's a good trade, but or just hold on and buy back lower, buy more when we are back in the zone. And then we are not taking profit here. You know, we want to take profit as close to the top as possible. So that was a good tweet. And then the trenches tweet. And I'm working on a DAT video that I think will be released soon, but super sorry, you know, I've been super busy, so I missed them. So feel free if you have any question to ask in the chat, I will get to them. And I will just like go on a few tweets and keep talking. So feel free if you have any question, drop them in the chat, sorry, and we will discuss. Had some question about Nobody, very good coin, very good IP, a bit high, 70 million FDV. So I'm really looking forward to see it like either like still going up, and that's okay, or starting to go down, consolidating, to start loading a bit the position, because I think it's a meme coin that is here to stay. On-chain metrics are improving, which is good. Another one we shared in the trenches. So I don't know if I'm able to reveal that many alpha, because I know it's a public live. But let's discuss about Fartless. Not about shilling the coin, but more the thesis behind it. So simple. Fartless is a combination of fart coin plus useless, right? It makes Fartless. So I feel the ticker is great. You know, the ticker in crypto is super important. That's why I'm a big fan of Pump also. The ticker is Pump. Like It's a very good ticker. And trust me, people are very sensitive to ticker. So they have like 8K, it's a CTO. So it was a Bong Fund token, not a pump fund, a Bong Fund. So it has been created by the Fartcoin dev wallet. So I don't know if it's like the Fartcoin guy that created Fartcoin that did it, but it's from the same wallet. Created the coin on Bong Fund, sorry. Passed the bonding curve, then pumped to 10 million FDV, up, down, and now it's consolidating. And once again, I know it's hard to buy support like this one, but it's crypto. If you don't do that, you will buy here. Like you will buy the pump and you will buy the top. In crypto, you have to buy when it's hard to buy. So here at 1.7 million valuation, always hard to say because it's a new meme coin, but it's quite small, 1.7. You don't need much buy pressure to really make the price go up. Volumes are insane. I'm still trying to understand like how come the volume are so big. Ticker is great. On-chain metrics are decent. So I'm like, okay, let's just take a bag and that's it, sit on it. And perhaps if we have a pump, I don't know, in 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months, I don't know, to $8 million, perhaps I will take back the money invested. I think. So I will sell 20% of my bag. Like that, I've took back my money invested. Like that, I'm safe. And then I will just let the rest of the bag run because I feel this one, it could be a runner, This one could be like SPX 690, I have a friend, so he has a decent size, but like he put like quite some money on SPX way before like it pumped. It had a first pump, sold a bit, buyback, and he really had the conviction, waited, and it was a good trade. So yeah, that's a funny one. But always go check everything on chain, all the on chain metrics, everything to make sure that everything looks great, right? From what I understood from the community, token has been going down because there is one of the whale that is selling. So I feel what is going on on Fartless is like you have some whales selling, and you have like a bunch of new users getting in, slowly, which are compensating those two, which is cool, which is very cool. So yeah, check out the Twitter. But here I wanted less to shield Fartless, but more to explain the playbook, the trade, and of course, on some meme coins, we have developed like a super big conviction. And so we are more like DCAing, like we are buying a bit below a threshold, right? But we are buying slowly, It has been the case for FWOG. I think I disclosed that I purchased some more this week in trenches. So I don't know where it was, like a few days ago. And I'm just accumulating. And for me, my FWOG bag is fairly simple. It's like I'm buying, but I'm never looking back, It's like I forgot it, I'm like, okay, I don't care. It's kind of like for Fartless, I don't care. For nobody, because it's high, I'm more like buying, trying to take some profit, So it's a bit of a different approach. Then I think I will answer to all your questions soon. I will answer all your questions soon. So feel free to ask any question. I can't hear anything. I think it's not me. Good for the screen. Okay. So now small pause. We'll drink a bit some water and then we'll discuss a bit about what everybody's missing in crypto right now. And why, something very important we're going to discuss. So what is everybody missing in crypto? I think everybody's missing in crypto that market is fairly priced, is well priced, way more than we think. So I'm in a new alpha group, very private one, very stealth, kind of like a whale one, big whales, very smart guy also, and so on. And basically in the group, they share a lot about value investing and how to put a valuation on a coin. And I think that has been the thing that has overperformed quite well these days, is like trying to time the market on some big flows like ETF, like treasuries, but also then focusing on the coins who have the best, like looking at the valuation kind of, So if we have the protocols here, revenue, market cap. So this is basically what an analyst will do in a hedge fund or like in an asset manager, not on crypto, right? But on stocks. You have the FDV and then you have the price earning. So basically like the FDV divided by what the protocol is making, And you have some coins, you're like, okay, pump undervalued, And this is the interesting play here. People on pump faded pump for the wrong reasons. When it was here, it was so undervalued in terms of value investing, not in terms of looking at the price. Because you have like, I see I'm in crypto, like there's yeah, it's cheap. How come you know it's cheap? Like how come you know you have to buy here? So of course, technical analysis is cool, but at some point, technical analysis like doesn't do the thing, you know, and you have to think a bit more about it. And the guys who overperform just think better about that. And that's the thing I'm using a lot these days, trying to figure out what is overvalued, what is undervalued, and doing the thing, you know. And I think that's why also like the quality of the trenches alpha has gone up, because like we are more like doing more research, you know. So ENA, that's one. So I should follow. That's one like I'm fading a bit, you know. They have a big buybacks coming up. I know many of you asked me some questions about should we buy ENA. For now, we kind of passed, which is perhaps retarded, but the chart looks a bit topish. So the thesis is like some people say that there is so much inflows coming up that it will go above $1 easily. I'm like, okay, why not? But that's not the trade I'm comfortable in taking, so I'm not taking it. And that's something. If you're not, when I'm not comfortable, I don't take the trade. That's it. And you should do the same. For example, this morning I shared a trade in trenches. If you're like, oh, I have already too much exposure to that narrative and I feel that my quant is hallucinating here, just don't take it, you know. Always do your research and trust a bit your gut feeling on reducing your risk, you know. People trust their gut feeling on growing their risk. That should be the opposite. Yeah. Why? Because like humans are made to like survive. So we have been, since like hundreds of years, humans have been super good at trusting their gut feelings to reduce their risk, not growing. So we should do the same when it comes to investing. But yeah, like pump crazy buybacks every day. So that's the alpha. And you have a lot of people, super smart guys in crypto, shilling the FDV divided by revenue. And so you can figure out, oh, pump is undervalued. Oh, is Rejoins undervalued? Is FFI overvalued? Oh, hyperliquid is really overvalued. Or why is hyperliquid more valued than pump fund? Is it because like people hate pump fund because they feel that it is destroying value to the crypto sphere? Okay, why not? But then Rejoins, why is it so undervalued? Is it because of the token economics? Something should explain why is it not valued that way. Oh, I'm not even streaming Rejoins. That's a good one. I need to add in my list. And perhaps you do the research on Rejoins and you figured out that, oh, Rejoins is undervalued. I need to buy it. So you share to the quant this kind of photo. This is like good. This is alpha. This is alpha. Just from that, we can probably do some trade and be like, okay, you know, and perhaps be like, oh, if I was interested, but perhaps a bit overvalued, or why is it valued like that? You know, for example, Jupiter is valued lower than Hyperliquid or PancakeSwap, but it makes sense, and I have some reasons why that I can't disclose here, but I have some reasons why. So that's why the thing. FWOG, I liked it. You see def, I see accumulation. We're not the same. It's like I see some people paper like doing the paper hands, you know, in trenches. You know, I told you like FWOG will probably never play it out, never pump. But if it pump, it will take some time, which is good, right? Because the more time we have, the more we can accumulate. You know, for example, my frustration on iEther is like we didn't have much time to accumulate. You know, it pumped. Okay, so I bought it, pumped. Okay, so now I'm managing my trade. You know, and if it goes back here, perhaps I will not take it. So that's some also like I need to do some content for trenches, and one like educational stuff about alpha decay. So I try to keep it super simple. So I don't know if like I'm losing a bunch of you guys, but if you want to make it in crypto, at some point you have to become a bit technical. Is that I had some question in trenches about, oh, you shared, I don't know, this chunky, for example, it went back to the entry price. Should we enter? No. When there is an alpha, some of them can last. Some of them are like really short-term sighted, you know. For example, ATH, now it pumped. There is no alpha anymore. It's way above our entry price. So if you missed it, it's okay. For pump, basically the alpha was to buy below 0.003. So we are way above that. So you have to wait for it to go back to below 0.003. But let's say there is some FUD, I don't know, blah, blah. The token crash and go back here. Should we buy it here? I don't know. But one thing I'm sure of is like the alpha we had here is not valid anymore. There is the alpha decay, what we call kind of. So no, don't take it, you know. So if you leave trenches, like in 6 months, pump is back 0.03, like, yeah, Quant told me like pump below 0.03 is good. No, don't buy, right? Don't buy. Don't buy, you will get wrecked. So that's something very important that I think needed some clarification from trenches. And I think, you need to ask more questions when you're the guys who are in trenches, even like on the small word we are using, on all this kind of stuff, because I think we can build some educational content that I will happily do it. So yeah, pump, growth, crazy one. So let's go. I had a bunch of questions on this token, MYX. So these are like the coins that sometimes I'm aware of because I have like some people telling me that is a bit like cabal or like insider or like these are like the coins you want to stay far because they will kill you, because they are cabal or they are insider, like on the fact that there is a bunch of guys colluding, doing things to pump the price and squeeze everybody. And so that's why you have to stay far from those coins and be cautious on leverage, especially on short selling, because the thing did like more than 10x, 100x. So it's hard to survive a short on that. Another cool video from Mike Novogratz. I recommend you to go follow Mike Novogratz, one of the smartest brain in crypto. And Mike Novogratz is really a macro guy. So it's super interesting. But also he's sometimes sharing a bunch of stuff on how they think. They are like the whales. They are like the big guys in crypto. So you have to think the way they think. Because if you think like them, first, you follow what they're doing and you understand what they're doing. So you don't like copy paste blindly. You understand what they're doing. And second, at some point, you will build that way of thinking and you will figure out trades that they haven't found that you will be able to join, probably make money on, or perhaps front run them. Like they will taking the trade after you. So that's a very cool one. Another trade about ENA. So some guys are flooding, some guys are not flooding, which is interesting. But to end up and then answering all your questions, first thing, go spend more time on DeFi Llama. Look at the protocols making money. Is it real money? Is it fake money? How come? Why? Is the money back into the token? Will the token pump? Is it valued? What valuation it is? And so on. I think it's interesting to spend some time doing that. Or you can go just on Twitter, search. There is a bunch of people doing it for you. Like, for example, Stacy Murr. Very cool. I don't know if it's done by her whatsoever, but very cool. So feel free to do that, or like to check a lot in Twitter. And you have to bring alpha every time. So search smarter on Twitter. Every time you see something, you're like, okay, I think it's smart. Just take it, share it in the trenches private group. You can tag me if you think it's very interesting, and I will go check it out. Because perhaps from that, from a screenshot like that, I can figure out a trade, and be like, okay, we have to accumulate that coin below that price. We accumulate, the thing does 2x, boom, we made some money, we are out. And we keep repeating, And the second thing is like, use more AI. For example, here. So, I don't know, perhaps one of the co-founders in Rejoins, good article. You take the article, you put it in ChatGPT, and you start to ask about valuation model and so on. Yeah. So yeah, I will answer your questions. So use AI to build valuation model. So you have to become a bit like an analyst, like a quant analyst, in a hedge fund or whatsoever, which is pretty cool. So now let me, so sorry, because I'm only on one screen. Yes, alpha decay sometimes. I don't know if we can enter because it's not momentum anymore. Exactly. So that's a very good way of saying it. Like there is no momentum anymore. So a good example is like ATH. So the alpha, of course, is not good enough, is not good anymore because of the price pumped. But even though perhaps it goes back here, perhaps there is no momentum, or there is no like the narrative or like the mind share going on Twitter. So re-entering here is super dangerous because you will get wrecked. So that's why there is the alpha decay. So of course, guys, I missed the promo, but join trenches. Honestly, if you're in crypto, I don't know how much it costs, but you will learn a bunch of stuff. I think you will make some good like investment, good trades. And I think you will have more the energy of like being in the trenches, spending time and and really like focusing on that, So why you monitoring crypto with Sol and not USDT, like FWOG Sol and not FWOG USDT? Because for me, when I get exposure to FWOG, it's like I want to get more. I want to basically get smarter Solana exposure. And by the way, that's one of my tweets here. It's time to ape into Solana beta. So another alpha. I think Solana will keep overperforming here short term. Will keep overperforming its altcoins, but at some point, all the other altcoins will overperform, and that's the thing. For example, if we take like FWOG Sol, I don't know when, but at some point we can have a trade where like your FWOG bag will do like a 2x, 3x against your Solana bag. So yeah, let's say you invested like let's say 1 Sol into FWOG. FWOG like pump, you can get back 3 Sol, you get back your 1 Sol, and you let the rest run. You take profit in USDC value then based on the FWOG chart. You can ask me in the chat, and then that's it. Then you are good to go. Okay, so sorry. What is your target for FWOG in the long term? No targets, not selling. But that's a good question. I don't think in terms of targets. There is no need to think in terms of targets. Yeah, big alpha. Yeah, of course. What do you think about NMT and Cubic? Good question from Valerie. Yeah, it's Valerie. Sorry, I don't know. Sorry if I'm misspelling. So NMT, main issue is like we missed it. Oh no, MNT, I don't know it. Okay, I will do some research. Sorry, I mean MNT. Sorry. So I will do some research. And the thing with Cubic, I'm doing a bit of research on Cubic these days because some smart friends shielded me, but some guys are saying, yeah, it's a bit bullshit, blah blah. Yeah. So any TG coming soon on Q42 projects. Some invested like 9-12 months ago. Yes, that's VC. Sometimes it takes a lot of time for the project to TG, and so you just have to be patient. Just don't take any mental energy for that because it will not. The goal is obviously is for it to be passive, right? So hi. Don't be shy. Ask as many questions as possible. What is the interest for project to buy back that token? It's kind of like the same for. It's a good question actually. It's kind of like the same for stocks. What's your interest of doing some buyback into stocks? So that's a good question. I'm writing it down because it's a good question. I should have a banknote. Sorry. When alpha pays for the trenches subscription. Yeah, that's the goal of it, right? And also you learn. What about buying Avi, Helium, and Jito? So Avi, I'm a big fan of Avi. I don't have much of a conviction on it simply because the price is too high. But I love Avi. I just feel like it's just priced in. It's a bit too high. Forming like a rounding top kind of. So yeah. So I would be interested below $200, let's say. Above, I'm not. Jito, interesting one. Super long time I haven't checked it out. So I think I will put it back in my watch list. Yeah, Jito is a hard one. I need to do some research. The chart not looking that great, but looking interesting. So I will check. And Helium, same. Helium, super long time I haven't checked it out. Okay, let's put the Qcoin trade. Okay, I need to check Helium. So good question. Do you think ARCCD has finished his downtrend? That's a good question. Really losing, he really lost so much mindshare on Twitter, like it's crazy. So sometimes we are right, sometimes we are a bit wrong, but that's okay. But yeah, we had like an organic bottom in April, and since then nothing. Looks bottomish to be honest, But that's the thing. Is like, of course, we locked some money on ARCCD when we could have utilized that to do other things and buy back later on. But that's okay. We can't always buy the bottom and buy the things before it pump, right? So I don't know, Yannick, but I think the exhaustion is close. I think there is the time-based capitulation is done. Yeah. Sorry, I'm writing some ideas, What's the other Solana alpha? I see a FWOG in market cap, but what you see is interesting or not? So I'm not sure I understand your question, Cole. But probably you make that you want other Solana alpha, join trenches then. And for FWOG, it's just like a coin we like. And I think we revealed why we like FWOG in the trenches group. So yeah, Sorry, it's easy to hide. Okay, hide and then putting back. Okay. So do you think there is a risk that old meme coins won't pump as much as during their first wave due to the new meme coin launched more recently, or this attention market, for example, GRATUIT? I think that's a very good question, and this is where perhaps I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong on this one, it will cost a lot. So will I be wrecked? And so some of you by consequences. So let's take PopCat. Okay, wait. I will explain my thesis. It's a very simple one. Very complex, but simple. My thesis is simple. When we look at Pump Fund, Bonk Fund, all the coins being launched, how many survive, or how many are not cabals, how many are organic? You know, it takes time to create that culture and stuff. And the edge PopCat has is like they have a lot of mindshare. People are more comfortable buying it because it's older. And I think the more scams, I think it's three things, let's say. The more scams we have, the less people will buy the new coin. So the less the new coin make it, and the more they will buy the old coin because they feel safe. Second thing, PopCat. Everybody knows PopCat. Who knows Fartless, for example? Fartless hasn't made it yet, or like we will perhaps never make it, right? But PopCat made it already, you know, pumped to 1 billion valuation. Everybody knows PopCat. And the third thing, PopCat owns the distribution. PopCat is listed everywhere, aside Binance Spot. So when the market is hot, you are an American, you go on your app, you check the meme coins, you want to get meme coins exposure, you're like, okay, do I get the meme coin exposure or not? And so you take exposure on PopCat. And honestly, I told you, PopCat below 0.25, guys, it's a stealth. So yeah. So I'm sharing a lot of alpha, you know. I think I will stop the video soon. Otherwise, the guy managing trenches will kill me. So autonomous, good question. I don't know this coin, or perhaps I'm confused. Autonomous. Let me write it down. Autonomous. I don't know. So can't answer. Sorry, Ranu. Do you think bids is a good beta play if we miss bid? If you miss bid, I think you should still try to get the bag, and you had so many opportunities. So at some point, you know, if you discover trenches recently, it's okay. But like if you know trenches is existing since quite some time, and you don't have bid and you haven't joined trenches, I can't do anything for you, right? I don't want to be rude and say have fun staying poor, but like at some point there has been so many opportunities for bid to get a bag and trade it, and at some point it will not be the case. So yeah, but yeah, looking at the creator bid sales launch could be interesting. For example, you could be like on the profit you've made selling, buying back bid, you can participate in one of the upcoming sale. You take a project that you like and you buy it, and could be bids, for example, you know, bid strategy, the Twitter bid _ strategy. So interesting one. LMO. So yeah, it's a good one. LMO, we all be wrecked. So if I'm wrong, we all be wrecked. Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. That's why you should not trust me and do your research. So Maniki breaks out. Would you buy some again? That's a good question. I haven't checked. They were like in the rebranding kind of stuff and everything. And that's the thing. I can't check everything. And so I'm asking the trenches members to at some point do the homework also. Not be like, you can be passive and just look at the thing, but I think it's a shame because you want to become a better investor. And yeah, bring some alpha. Bring more alpha, bring more ideas, bring more tickers, ask more questions, ask more like, oh, what do you think of that? Should we take that trade? Blah, blah. Mug, sold some, buy back here. I shared, I think, in the chat many times. So yeah. So it's been 40 minutes, sorry. I think I will stop sharing my screen and just answer to the question over the yeah, on the top like here. So what about, sorry, let me share. So what about Believe? The chart looks solid right now. Yeah, it looks insane. So the thesis is simple for Believe. It's an organic CTO pump fund token, had a pump and a dump, which makes it a bit safer. And that's my thesis, you know, on old meme coin. It makes it a bit safer because it's harder for people to rug, or the probability of it being a rug is smaller because people would already have rugged, you know. So that's the thing when you had a pump and a dump. And this is simple. What they are pitching is like, take a bag of belief and just swap on belief everything that is like about trading, everything that is not about trading, like investing, swing. And part of the fees goes back to burn belief. They already had like a few $100 worth of burn, and I think it will keep growing if the whole community is defending their bag. So I think it's pretty cool. You get a bag, you swap there, doesn't change much. Let's say, for example, you want to buy Fartless. The coin is so volatile that paying a bit more fees doesn't change anything. And so, yeah, you just do that. And if it cooks also, it's cool. Because, that's also the thing about crypto. We talk about like a lot about making money, about, making it. But also at some point, it's also about being right and culture, so don't be too greedy. It's about culture and community. And so let's say you bring some friends in Believe, you explain the playbook, they do their research, like, okay, I'm joining, and I don't know, at some point you make it big. First, you grow your reputation score, you train yourself to pitch something to people, and then they're like questioning it, and so it makes you like become a better investor. And also you have supported the community, and the community is grateful for that, and that's why we crypto, right? Because it's community. So Brainlet is a good one. I think it's one I will add soon. So it dumped. I need to check why it dumped. But that's why I need some guys in trenches being like, oh, that's my quant. Brainlet dumped because of that, or did pump because of that. Like that's. I have even more data from the market, and the more data I have, it's like I'm an AI. The more data I have, the better the alpha. The more data, the better the alpha. That's a good one. The more data in time also. And trust me, like all the alpha we have been able to share are mainly to the fact that we do a lot of research, Believe is strong. Yeah, it has been going strong these days. So Neve saying delta 0.88 on my side. Any thoughts from the quant? So I think you're pretty well. Honestly, you are more like a high risk guy. I would just check on the delta you have if there is some coins you have to take profit on. For example, ATH, pump, to see if your delta would grow. And then I will add a bit more. Honestly, I will grow your delta, Me now, I'm old, so I can't be delta 100% or 100% plus because I have responsibilities, but you don't have, so you need to be aggressive. Of course, not a financial advice, do your research and so on. But I will grow it a bit, but no rush. Find the good opportunities. Feel free to send your portfolio in percentage in the trenches group, and perhaps I will catch something. I'm like, oh, bro, you need absolutely to have a bag of that and wait. So yeah, that's my grok. Exactly, that's my grok. But I'm an AI, guys. You will see. So, some of you who met me live knows it. Yeah, delta is percentage of coin. The delta is percentage of coin value divided by your whole portfolio. So let's say your portfolio is 20% Bitcoin, 20% Ethereum, 20% Solana, 40% stables. Your delta is 60%. Could the next rate cut be a sell the news? Always. That's why people are overly bullish on rate cuts. I mean, it's good, but don't be overly bullish. That's the thing. Don't be overly bullish on rate cuts. I will explain why. Why? Because things will break, first. And second, markets anticipate and price well everything. That's the thing you have to keep in mind. And that's why I'm telling you that we have to be a bit smarter in terms of looking at the valuation, building valuation model, because that's how we will become rich. Yeah. Sorry, I'm taking idea to make more alpha. It's very important to know, is it a coin overvalued or not, And in my head, I know all the valuation. I can be like, okay, Solana this valuation, Ethereum this valuation. So of course you can't be like me because it's my full-time job, right? But still. So Valerie saying, thank you, Julian, and have a good weekend. Have a good weekend too. Cool. Think for your life, I join with the trenches, I have more money. Okay. Feel free, do your research, check it out, and so on. So it's like the trenches owner that told me, that's my point, you have to do a public live to grow the trenches, and also because you have to do a live. So that's the way to go. Sorry, I'm dying. But yeah, and honestly, the goal on trenches is like also you being activist. So, I understand when you join, it's new. Perhaps you don't have the skills in crypto and so on. But the goal of you being in trenches is like at some point having you making research, trying to figure out stuff on Twitter and being like, okay, I saw that. What do you think? Asking questions and trying to, to think. So I don't have also like much time, right? Trenches is not my full-time job. It's like my 20th. I have 20 jobs before trenches, right? But still, I'm spending a lot of time in it, and every like smart stuff I try to engage, and that's why what we ask guys is go follow trenches on Twitter. Follow me also on Twitter. So trenches is back on Twitter. I think the guy will share the Twitter link. Follow me also on Twitter. That's my quant. And go comment like every post we make. That's the only thing we ask. So when we join trenches, you see, you have to pay and then you have to work to bring some cool ideas, bring some alphas, and comment like everything. Otherwise, you can't join back trenches. It's a non-profit organization, trenches. So the goal is to really have more people bringing alpha, more people, smarter people thinking, and having that compounds, because trust me, knowledge compounds. Yeah, that's the thing we are focused on everything we are doing. Knowledge compounds. And that's why you have to work when you are in trenches. So that's the thing. No, I've made it. 45 minutes already in. Feel free if you have any questions. Otherwise, we will stop the live. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Mike, for the live. Pleasure. I have the animation behind. But we try to figure out as many alpha as possible, but no rush. Be careful on the leverage. No FOMO. Let a bit more the coin breathe. Don't take profit too fast. Manage the risk the proper way. Wag me, as they say. One more time, thank you, mate, for this live. Pleasure, Antoine. High quality live advice. Pleasure. Yeah, be careful on your risk. Don't be greedy. And one thing I ask those who are in trenches, if there is some upcoming alphas, we have been very successful and very lucky, but be careful. Don't add leverage. Don't size more. It has to compound slowly. No worries, there is a bunch of alpha coming up. Cheers, guys.